Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Rink Rookie, a guide to the NHL. I am your co-host, Ashley.
And I'm your other co-host, Arielle, and welcome to our podcast.
Welcome back. We're here for season 2.
Back season 2. I'm so excited.
Me too. I feel like so much has been happening. I need to yap. It's been 4 months. We just counted a second ago and it doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it obviously has.
It does and doesn't.
Yeah. Time is weird. I feel like everybody kind of knows that. It's just like, it's not real. Time is not real.
Absolutely insane. This time last year, I had a hockey team.
Oh, yeah. Too soon?
It's fine. No, it's not.
It's not fine. But anyway, how have you been? What have you been up to? Give us the 411 on the last 4 months for you.
Last 4 months, did some traveling. I went to the Hockey Hall of Fame, which I still need to post a photo about. So I was in Canada. Went to Niagara Falls, Toronto. Toronto is really nice. Crowded AF. The snacks there, top tier. To Buffalo, New York, kind of explored out there. And then I've just been enjoying my time back home in Arizona, and personal life's going well. So yeah.
What are your highlight snacks from Canada?
Oh my God. Okay, there were these ketchup chips.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't think I would like them. And then there was like a curry chip too. Didn't think I
Okay.
would like. They were surprisingly good. I like the Pringles versions.
Love a
I was like,
Pringle.
I was down for the chips, honestly. And then like obviously like the chocolates and stuff. The chocolates seem similar to like UK candy to me,
Yeah, I've had UK
but
chocolate.
yeah, so you
So
get it.
good.
Like I'm like it was good, but I was like there for like the salty snacks. I also love that like all the packaging is in both French and English. I was so fascinated.
Right. I had a friend send me some Tim Hortons cards, like hockey cards,
Mhm.
and they have French on them too. Like the cards and the package is so freaking cool.
I love it. Yeah, I took some pictures. I'm like, this feels silly to like take pictures of it. It's like so cool. Oh, and then like, but in Buffalo, I was not prepared for like they're like a serious sports city, like
Okay.
for the Bills
Just
and the
okay.
Sabres, and even like their lacrosse team. Like they're
Oh.
hardcore.
Cross, I didn't see that at all coming.
They are hard. I know, neither did I. And then I went to like some sports shops, and I was just like, what the heck? Yeah, it was crazy.
That's so interesting. Like, if I feel like, I guess I assume they'd play inside too, so it would be because it gets chilly there. I guess I don't know when their season is.
I don't know either. I don't know about lacrosse.
Couldn't tell you a thing.
What about you? Give me an
Oh,
update.
not much to report, honestly. Just been working and my sister's about to have a baby next month and might go home in a couple months to go see her. And yeah, honestly, really nothing. Just been working and watching hockey because season's back. But before that, honestly, been collecting cards. That's what I did. I collected cards over the off season. I like bought my first pack towards the end of the regular season in April and have probably spent way too much money on cards, but that was like my hyper fixation. I've got like 4 books. 3 of them are pretty full.
Oh my God.
It's bad. Yeah. None of them are even like special. None of them are like expensive cards. I just buy like the cheap packs, and I've sent you some. I've sent my friend Danielle some. And yeah, that was my off season.
Yeah, you sent me some cards and I was just like, okay, cool. Like I got like, and she sent me a lot, by the way. Like I was not prepared for the amount.
So that was like
Um,
double. So I already had those.
oh my God. So I still got to get a book because then I ended up getting more cards. I got like a big, like little cheap pack or whatever. And
Yeah.
while I was in New York, and I was like, this is thrilling. And then I had someone come over and they were looking at all my cards. I was like, oh yeah, I started collecting hockey cards. And they're like, do you try to like get different things? I'm like, no, I just want to get what I get. Like
Right.
this is for fun.
I just like to have them. Someone at work was like, "Why do you collect them?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just like having them. Why does anybody collect something?" I guess most people collect
Yeah.
something because maybe it'll come of some value to somebody, but I don't think any of my cards are worth anything. It's just for fun.
Me in my head, I'm like, some of us have a different kind of mental illness. We just want to do it for fun.
Right. Don't perceive me. Oh man. All right. So we're going to start this season kind of like how we started last season and introduce ourselves just for the people maybe who are starting to listen or refresh your memory. If you're a listener from before, just kind of tell you how we got into sports, how we got into hockey, why we're doing this, and then we're going to kind of explain what our outlook is going into this season. So, Arielle, if you want to tell the people how you got into sports, a little bit about you, your hockey story, etc.?
Hockey story. So I got into sports because of my dad. Like baseball was like my first kind of love. I'm a San Francisco Giants fan. I grew up in California, and now I'm in Arizona, and so I kind of adjacently root for the Diamondback when I can. Not like avidly, but I mean it's fun because I just like to go
Yeah,
to games.
for sure.
And then I kind of knew about like some of my family members were into hockey, but like nobody ever like encouraged hockey around me. It was like, oh, like that family member likes hockey, like but like nobody really, it wasn't encouraged like football or baseball was. But I did have family members that were San Jose Sharks fans. And it wasn't until I think you and I started to get into hockey, I like really started to pay attention
Yeah.
to like everything. And then I moved to Arizona and I found out they had a hockey team here. So I kind of like attached myself to that. And I remember saying, I was just like, I don't think they're going to be my favorite team, but I want to
Mhm.
like root for them because of the underdog. And then they ended up having a
What
kind
a
of
roller
good year.
coaster.
It's been crazy. And I'm like, wow, what a time.
You really
Who kn-
jumped in at the last minute and held on.
Yeah, I held on. I started going to like the open practices, like the fan fest. I even tried out to be a Coyotes and NHL cheerleader, which is a super fun experience. So like
So cool.
I just went all into hockey, and then that was like our life like for basically the entire year. I
Yeah,
couldn't
I
figure
bet.
out like I just like dove right into like watching all 32 teams, and we'll get into it, but I think now we're going to kind of narrow it down like now that we really know who we want to watch, but oh my god, it was crazy.
It's hard trying to keep up with all 32. So,
Kudos. Oh, also too, like my dad used to take me to like we used to watch basketball a lot and we would go meet like football players and basketball players and
oh,
getting autographs and stuff. So like being up and close with athletes like wasn't new to me. So I think that kind of made it easier when like I started trying to interact with the Coyotes players or now Utah. But I know. But yeah, it was fun. And now I feel like hockey was like my own thing and I ended up getting my dad and like so many other friends into it. So it's been so fun.
your dad is so deep in it right now.
He has adopted the Buffalo Sabres, based off of because of that's where my brother ended up in the military at the moment, and he just is all in, and then now that's just his team.
Truly just like love that for him. He's going to games like nobody's business. He needs to be a season ticket holder.
I know at this point I'm pretty sure he's been to more games than I have.
Ah, the luck of the draw. Unfortunately, getting your team taken away. That's still. My mom was upset for you when I told her about that.
It so sucks. And then for some reason, I last season attached myself to the New Jersey Devils, and a friend of ours, October, she was like, don't take this the wrong way, but you seem like you would be a New Jersey Devils fan. I was like, I'm gonna take that as a compliment.
I don't know what that means, but thanks.
Exactly.
I guess I can do mine, I suppose. So I really got into sports through also my father. I'm sure that's the story for a lot of people, girls specifically. He was really into college football in the NFL. He followed the Green Bay Packers and the Oklahoma Sooners. So football was kind of our thing. We didn't really have hockey in Oklahoma. That's not a thing. And I think we had an AHL team for the Oilers in Tulsa, that was like 4 or 5 hours away from me. And then I think at some point maybe there was an Oklahoma team. I can't quite remember. Anyway, I didn't know anything about it until last summer or last playoffs. Arielle and I got really into watching playoffs during last season when the Golden Knights won. We watched playoffs, texting each other about it. And then I think that summer we just kind of really deep dived into it. And then around August, I was like, I want to do a podcast. I can totally produce, but I don't know how to go about asking people to like host this thing that I want to like produce. And then Ariel's like, we could do it. And I was like, you know what? You're right. So here we are. I've spent so much money on hockey now. It is my entire personality. Everybody knows that I like hockey. And if you don't, then I will tell you that I do. Yeah, I don't know. I think I've met a lot of good people through hockey. This podcast has been great. I feel like we've met a lot of people through the podcast as well. And yeah, I am now a Kings quarter season ticket member for the LA Kings because they're my closest team. The Ducks is definitely a cheaper membership, but they're about an hour and a half away. And so I'd rather just stick closer to home for now and then maybe reevaluate next season. But it made sense for me money wise. And yeah, I don't like the Kings or the Ducks, unfortunately. nothing about the Kings has really like spoken to me. There's not tons of whimsy for them. None of the players have really like spoken to me. And the one player that I did like on their team, Pierre-Luc Dubois, he's now with the Capitals. He got traded over the summer. And then we did get an Oiler who I am pretty interested in, but not enough to want to root for them or watch them.
Follow them, yeah.
Yeah. And then their goalie was the goalie for the Avs during their Stanley Cup run. So I do appreciate that too, Darcy Kemper.
Oh, that's right.
I did get to meet him because they did a Kings season ticket member event, and I have his signature on one of my hockey cards now, so that's cool.
Hey, that's so cool.
And yeah, my team is the Seattle Kraken, closely followed by the Colorado Avalanche, and then the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers, because that Stanley Cup final really, really got me. The narratives. That's what pulls you into a team. So it's so important. Like you find one like sad story from one player on a team, and it just like it hits you in a place that you just like can't let go. Connor McDavid, I love you. And that was not something I would have said last season, but
especially at the beginning of last season, like wow, how the tables have completely turned.
Yeah.
I feel like the fact that with the Oilers and the Florida Panthers on your list to begin with is absolutely bonkers, but it's so funny and great.
It's called growth, Arielle.
Hey, I'm not judging.
I think the Winnipeg Jets were pretty high on my list last year, and I still really do enjoy them. They did lose one of my favorite players on that team over the summer also, but I think it was more about the team, not the players. So I'm enjoying their insane run right now. They've only lost once in the last 12 games they've played. Their goalie is insane. Obviously, the Pittsburgh Penguins, Arielle and I both love them, and mostly Sidney Crosby. I think it's about Crosby, not the team.
Truly, if that core three left, who knows if we'd still be there.
Yeah. I mean, Anthony Beauvillier is on that team, but I don't know. He's like a one-year player, I think, for them.
Yeah.
And we both like the Canucks. Quinn Hughes and his sad face is pretty endearing. And yeah, I think that's as far as teams go that I'm following. And then, like Arielle said, to segue into the next section, kind of what to expect from us going into the season. So we both follow some of the same teams, but like our faves are different. And so I feel like we've both obviously discussed this, just kind of focus on the things that we're seeing daily by the teams that we follow closely. I think it'll kind of pare down the information we'll get, and yeah, I don't know, I think it might be good for us.
It's okay, because like this season, and I've noticed it now that I kind of had to ease my way back into watching hockey again. I didn't watch too many preseason games. I kind of only kept up with it on my phone.
For sure.
And then we also started doing we're doing a fantasy draft with some of our friends. So like that's kind of like we're really I'm honestly just focused on my players that are on the different teams, really. But other than that, like some of them I'm not watching their teams totally. So like I noticed last year for Frozen Frenzy, I watched almost every single game. And then this year I really said, you know what, let me focus on what I actually want to enjoy. And I think I only watched like 2 games.
But you feel like you take it in more when you're doing that, as opposed to trying to go between each game and like see a little bit. It's more like your focus is on one thing, and I feel like you're kind of taking the game in like more obviously.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a different experience enjoying it, because like first it was like super brand new. It was like a shiny new toy. We just wanted to like be with it all the time, and now we're kind
all the media.
Yeah, now we're kind of like not only prioritizing ourselves, I think, a little bit better, but really prioritizing like the teams that we really like want to kind of like learn about. Like I feel Ashley's kind of lucky with the Kraken because they're newer, so like their history just kind of keeps going. Where like I actually want to take the time to learn more about like the New Jersey history and like all that.
That's smart. That is definitely a good reason why I didn't pick the Kraken. I stand by the fact that they chose me, but having them as a team and then recommending them as like a favorite team to other people is, you don't have tons of history to learn. Like you can watch their first season that was really bad, their second season that was really good, their third season was mid, and now we're in our fourth season. So it's like the lore's not super deep. It will be, and it's cool to like say you've been there from like the beginning and so on. So
yeah,
definitely if you are looking for a team, and I think I've seen a couple people on TikTok who are new to hockey also picking the Kraken as their favorite team going into the season, and I think that's really cool because it makes them so accessible by being a newer team.
It is. I think the Kraken definitely definitely helped me dive in because I would have been like too overwhelmed to pick a team or have a team choose me. But anyway, this is where we ended up.
It's definitely overwhelming. I mean, like we said, there's 32 teams. We talk about them in an episode in the first season. Just a little bit of fact. And yeah, I mean, I don't know where I was going with that, but we do talk about them and you can learn a little bit about each one and maybe that'll help you decide. Definitely Tumblr if that's your thing. There's primers on teams, and even by year. So if you're looking for like a specific year the Devils played, or I know there's one for the Avalanche on their cup run year, I've read that I found super helpful. I don't know, I think it makes you love the team a little bit deeper just knowing like stuff they've been through, their highs and lows and such.
Yeah, and then we will keep track of some rookies. They're just like
Definitely.
ours. So definitely like Connor Bedard, Leo Carlson, Adam Fantilli, Logan
Yep.
Cooley, Riker Evans, like along those that we were kind of keeping track of like in our first year. We're gonna be continuing to follow them to some whatever teams. If they move, if they don't, we'll see.
Definitely love those little guys. I have really enjoyed seeing, like, obviously Connor Bedard won the Calder Cup, not the Calder Trophy last year. And I think he did an interview somewhere where he's like talking about this season. He's like, it's just a little bit slower. And I find that super interesting how he's seeing the season from last year to this year, because that was like our first season. It was his first season. So that's really fun. Leo Carlson's with the Ducks, which I don't follow, and Arielle doesn't either, but I live close, so it's really cool to see him getting his milestones. Like Arielle and I were there for his hat trick.
Yes, his first hat trick.
That's
I know it's
so
like
cool.
I know we don't follow the Ducks, but like there's a couple players on the Ducks that we are endeared by, so we might talk about them.
And they're close by, so I'm like seeing their games like in person too, so they're just there. And then Adam Fantilli, he had an injury last year and he picked a new number this year. So, and I feel like Columbus is doing pretty well so far.
Yeah, I know we didn't really follow them too much. We're obviously all saddened by Johnny Gaudreau. So like they've kind of been, because of all that, like that's kind of put them a little higher on my radar. So now I kind of do pay attention to root for them silently, but like we're not. But honestly, I'm really just keeping track of Adam.
Yeah, he's a fun one to watch. And then Logan Cooley, who was with the Coyotes last year and now Utah. I haven't really followed them too much, but I know you've kept up with them. So I'm not sure how he's done from his first to his second season.
I think he's doing pretty good. I think he's on a better role in Utah. I think like the positive, as much as it makes me sad, but like I can't blame the guys. Like they're definitely, there's a positive, more positive outlook with the players, and then with like Doan and Gunther too, that like started late last season, that were rookies that I'm following too. So like that three little young core that are over there now, I kind of root for them.
I watched 2 Utah games in person. I think I've watched a couple on TV because they've played my teams, but they're not doing too bad either. And they weren't doing bad last season either. So I don't know. I think they're in that like middle range, not super great, but not like top 10 draft, I guess.
Yeah, agreed. How's Riker doing?
Good. He didn't get scratched tonight. I think he's doing pretty well. He made the roster for the Kraken this year. He was with the Coachella Valley Firebirds, their Kraken's AHL team here in California last season for most of it, and then I think he was called up in December last season, and then was kind of up and down through the end. And then this season he's full-time with Seattle. He hasn't been scratched at all. He's been doing pretty good. I mean, the team's not doing great, but I think he's being paired. I can't remember who he's being paired with. I don't know why. I think it's Will. I think he's being paired with Will Borgen. They're defensive pairs, and I think they're doing pretty well together. Will was paired with Jamie Alexiak, who is now paired with Brandon Montour. Anyway, I think he's doing well. I love watching him. I have his Firebirds jersey. Yeah. I love him.
The most interesting thing is like after like all the trades that happen like at the trade deadline and then over the summer, where we keep having these moments of, oh, I forgot he went there. Like, I forgot he's on that team now.
I went and saw the Chicago Blackhawks play who did I see them play? The Kings? I saw them play the Kings first. And I saw Pat Maroon come out, and I was like, wait, I forgot they got him, because I knew they had gotten Laurent Brossoit, who was with the Jets last season, and I was really excited, but he's on injured reserve right now. But Pat Maroon was a happy surprise to see play with Chicago. Yeah, just like new faces on these teams, and it's like, okay, I really like you as a player, but I don't really want to follow the whole team.
Yeah, that one especially.
No, yeah, it's rough. And then like Alexander Wenberg, who got traded to New York at the trade deadline last season is now with the Sharks.
See, I was not like, he went to the Rangers and I was like, F that, but now he's with the Sharks. And now I'm like, it's like Wenberg to Foley, and then they have like Celebrini and Smith. So I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna kind of pay attention to you guys.
They took Cody Ceci from the Oilers too.
That's right. Yeah.
And Jake Wallman and Barclay Goodrow. They have some good players on that team. That's all I'm saying.
Damage. Yeah. I was like, whoa, they mean business. Took them a while to start winning, but they're good now.
Right.
They're on a roll.
Unlike Nashville, who took Steven Stamkos, and who else did they take?
Jonathan Marchessault,
Brady Shea.
Yeah. I was like,
and they're not doing good at all. And I feel like we had discussions.
I'm not saying I wish for it, but
yeah. I mean, I didn't ever follow Nashville, so I'm not jonesing to do that now with those new players, but I'm not as scared of them anymore as I thought I would be. But it's only a month in. And with that, we're a month in, and I want to do Stanley Cup predictions. Give me a Stanley Cup final matchup.
A Stanley Cup final matchup?
Do you think the Panthers will make it again?
Yeah, they're just so good. It's annoying.
They're so good. They beat Dallas at both of those Global Series games.
Yeah, I saw. So I feel like they might be there again. I'm biased. I would just love to see the Devils. They seem to be playing a lot better.
They do. I've seen people predict them like pretty high as far as the Stanley Cup bracket goes. People are like, no, don't say that, it jinx it. But people are going to talk about it regardless.
Yeah, I know, right? I think my friend was joking around, and she's like, the Islanders winning the cup. And then lately, with how they've just been dead in the water.
Got cursed. They got like 4 guys out on injury.
It's so bad. There's so many injuries. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's on our list too to talk about. This season has been cursed, and I stand by the fact that I think it's the Fanatics jersey changeover. Like that's my headcanon. Sticking to it.
The Fanatics,
bad.
And then if there's like an ugly or obnoxious logo that has to be on your jersey now.
The practice jersey that I'll say like property of. I think the first one I ever saw was property of Utah, and I was like, what are they doing? And then I saw every other team was doing it, and I was like, oh, this is bad. Like, we don't know. You're stalling. Who's your Western Conference final? Do the Oilers make it again? Does Dallas finally make it to a final? Calgary was doing really well. Winnipeg.
I want to say the Jets will probably make it pretty. I want to say Jets.
Okay, a Jets, Panthers, Stanley Cup final. You heard it here.
Yep.
I mean, they did really rough that first round. That was bad for me.
Yeah, that was. It's so crazy. Like, because even the Bruins when they were doing it, I was like, why are they sucking so bad in the playoffs? Like, what's happening? And then apparently it moved over to currently because it's so sad to watch.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Bruins, I don't know what they're doing. I mean, they got rid of their goalie tandem and waited forever to put Jeremy Swayman on the ice.
So. I want it to be like so random. Like, I want it to be like the worst team. Like, who's doing so bad on each side right now? Like, it's them. That would be hilarious.
You could do a Buffalo Ducks matchup.
Buffalo Ducks or like Buffalo Shark matchup.
Yeah. I mean, no one expects it. Why not?
I would just love to see the Sabres to get into the playoffs. They may be out the first round, but I would love to see them get into it this year.
That would be so sad for Jeff Skinner, personally.
I know. I think he'll get in the playoffs regardless this year anyway. But...
Yeah, I think the Oilers will make playoffs. They're not doing great right now, but I think they just got to find their groove. My prediction is Panthers. My bracket, I think, was Panthers, Dallas. And I don't know why I want to say that again, but as much as I would love a Panthers-Oilers rematch just for the narratives alone, I don't know, maybe the Canucks would be cool. They're not doing great, but they're not doing terrible. I think if their goalie situation gets figured out, if maybe Demko comes back, I could see them going pretty far. So Canucks, Panthers, maybe.
Oh my god, I'd be all over that.
It'd be so good.
I'd be so good, but also, the stress I would be under.
Yeah, that would be rough.
That would be hard because I do enjoy both teams. So
me too. Like they're both fun. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, the chaos. Yes, I'd be down for that.
I think that's going to be it for us. If you enjoyed this episode and you are vibing with what is to come, definitely give us a follow. Arielle, where can the people find you?
They can find me on TikTok and Instagram at It's Arielle Garcia. That's ITSARIELLE. And then on Twitter at Arielle Garcia. And you, Ashley?
Give me a follow on my photo Instagram, because that's something I'm doing now, which is ANEWBY photo. And then I joined a thing that there are these girls, Holly and Jordy, and they are local to Anaheim-ish area, and they have Mighty Ducks on film, so they take film photos at warm-ups and Ducks games in general and Ducks events. And they've been doing it, I want to say, at least the last 9 months, 10 months. I can't quite remember, but I really enjoyed following them. And so I think I saw a post one of them did on their account and was like, hey, we want women-led film accounts for all the NHL teams. And I was like, I could do that. I have film cameras. I started taking film about 2 years ago. And so I started the NHL on film. And so now there's a small little group of us. There's Canucks on film, Seattle Kraken on film, Bruins on film, Devils on film. But since I watch warm-ups for the away teams, the NHL on film just seemed up my alley. So definitely give me a follow, give them a follow, give all the other film accounts a follow. And then you can also follow us, the podcast, on all of our socials. It is at Rink Rookie Pod, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe and follow, like, thumbs up, all the things. Am I missing something?
No, that's it. That's everything.
And yeah, I think you can expect bi-weekly episodes from us. If you want more, definitely let us know. We can figure something out.
We're back and we're here to yap. So
we're
let's
back
go.
And here to yap about
Season
our specific
2.
teams. Don't forget. So
yeah,
from Arielle, expect Devils and who else? Or
oh my
who else
God,
are you
I
gonna
can't
follow?
even think. I know. I was just like, expect to hear about the Devils, Utah, and the Sabres from me, and then we have our combined that Ashley listed.
Yeah, Kraken, Avs, Oilers, Cats, Panthers, sorry. And then, yeah, whoever else we decide to sprinkle in there. And we will see you in like 2 weeks. Okay.
All right.
Bye, friend.
Bye.